Boom. What's up, guys? Very short video, I promise. Yesterday was a little bit longer for instruction. I just wanted to create this to quickly show you how you're going to practice what we talked about yesterday. So you're going to find in our classroom this link for that's entitled Trophic Level Pyramid Building. And the link is down here. And what you're going to do is yesterday you had focused on the fact that all of an ecosystem can be organized, a food web, into trophic levels, producers, consumers, and we already knew that. But we wanted to start to look at, and there was one question yesterday of uh, what happens to the energy as we move through. So we're going to begin to, from a reading, now we're going to put that into practice to look at that. So all you're going to do really quickly, you have a lot of options here. You're going to click on that link and it's going to hit you with the, hey, you got to do this Adobe Flash Player. So when you click on that, you know the deal. You'll have to allow that depending on what computer and device you're on. If you're on a Chromebook as well, you'll have to allow. And that's going to take you to a page that looks just like this. You can see a pyramid here. Now, you do not need to follow all the directions that are on here. However, this does give you, if you're stuck, you can hop over here, and it does give you a rundown and a reminder of some of the information that we've already talked about. The fact that what happens to energy, the fact that the energy from the producers goes to the first order consumers and second order, etc. Now, you'll notice one thing here. They use a nerdy word called heterotrophs. Do not panic. All that is, a heterotroph means you cannot make your own food. You've got to actually eat something else. So this is another word, a nerdy word for consumers. So remember, our energy is going to go from the producers to the first order consumers to the second consumers and so on. We've got our sun here dumping energy back in. And then remember, don't forget about our decomposers. When everything, and all of these things can die, the energy is lost to decomposers. And then the recyclers, it goes back. So what you're going to do, I'm going to ask you to go up here, really easy, and you're going to click and choose one of these 5 ecosystems. Doesn't matter which one you do. Does not matter. The process is the same for every single one. However, if I would recommend you might want to choose one that if there is one here that matches or is very similar to your ecosystem that you've chosen, you might want to choose that. That might be a big one. So I'm going to go ahead and choose, let's just say, I'll say hot desert because I had used desert as an example before. So over here, you'll notice a couple things. They give you all of the organisms that you can find in that ecosystem. And notice they have them categorized kind of by what they generally are: birds, reptiles, arthropods. Those are kind of the creepy segmented bodies, segmented legs, mammals, and plants. So all that you have to do after you've chosen your ecosystem is you have to categorize all of these organisms into which level they belong. Like, for example, a cactus or all cacti, they're definitely producers. So I click and drag and drop it. And I know that all of these plants, for example, are producers. That's an easy one. So we click and drag and drop these puppies down here. And once we get them all placed, all of our what we think are producers, I'm going to go ahead and then, well, who are our consumers? Who eats some of the producers? Well, I don't know. How do I know that? Easy way to do that down here is a field guide. You click on that, they give you information about it. They tell you about the trees and the plants. Deer, rabbits, and small rodents are plant eaters. So right here, they've given me the answer. I'm going to put deer, rabbits, and small rodents as plant eaters. So I'm going to go down and, kangaroo rat, that's a rodent. That's got to be a consumer. And I'm going to keep doing that, excuse me, until, and actually one thing of interest here is that I was looking actually at the wrong one. I've got to look at hot desert. So kangaroo rat, they give us the information. Snakes and lizards eat insects and rodents. So I know right here that snakes and lizards eat rodents. So if I'm going to take that, the snake wouldn't go here. If it eats a rodent, it's going to have to be up here. So you're going to keep doing that and organizing them, but notice it just has the names here. You don't know what's what. You don't know if you have that correct or not. So what you can do is you can check that button and notice that if you have it correct, it'll turn from the word to the picture of what that is. So there's my snake, there's my rodent. If I have that incorrect, like for example, I'm going to put hawks right here, I can check it. Notice it bounces. Hawks don't belong there. If I put them in as a first level consumer, I click check, it goes back. If I'm right, that organism will stay there and they'll give us a silhouette, a picture of it. So you're going to do that until you have all of these organisms put in their right levels. Pretty easy. Then once you've done that, I'm not going to be able to do it because I'm not going to go do all of the organisms here. Down at the bottom are two buttons you can click on: pyramid of numbers and pyramid of energy. And you're going to see different numbers here at the bottom. They'll either be the numbers, how many of them there are, or it's going to give you the amount of energy that's in each one. So we're able to actually track both the numbers, how many of each critter there are, and how much energy there is in each one. So all you have to do is complete the pyramid so that it's correct. um, check your information, click and check on that, and then toggle back and forth and look at what happens to the numbers of organisms as you go through the trophic levels and what happens to the energy as you go through the trophic levels. After you've done that, all I'm going to ask you to do is to go back and you are going to respond to standard stuff and exit ticket. An exit ticket with just 2 questions on it. That's going to ask you about what you noticed, what you saw, and why. Pretty easy.